Hello, one and all. It is I, the great sage Kakomotor, and do I have a wonderful gift for you all. Don't you wish you could relive the glory days? The glory days in this instance being between the years of 1995 and 2007. To a simpler time of motion-controlled games and consoles that sounded like they could set off a Geiger counter. It could all be yours if you just hold this jewel. A demonstration? Well, how could I say no? Oh no. Hello everybody and welcome back to the Veras channel. That is that channel and I am them, and today we will be talking about SAGE. Now what is SAGE? Well, SAGE is the Sonic Amateur Gaming Expo. This is an expo that is used to advertise anything from fan games to original works to even just basic engines to develop those games. SAGE was a huge part of my life growing up, and I feel like that not a lot of people know about it, and I feel like it is my moral obligation as a chronic Sonic fan to basically deliver this knowledge to all of you. Now, it's not a physical expo, as far as I'm aware. It's held online, and they have their own YouTube channel where they post a trailer every single year showcasing off most, if not all, of the games that will be displayed during the expo. Then you go to the website, and then you just download those games or just play them on the internet to your heart's content. Supposedly, the website's supposed to close after the, week-long event. At least that's what I thought. It's always been up for way longer than that, so by the time this video comes out, it's probably still up. I'll put the link to the website in the description so you can go take a look. This year, it's Sonic Rush themed, and the trailer was phenomenal, and they always go all out every year. So that leads into today's video. Well, what are we talking about? We're going to be talking about a few games that I found during SAGE that really piqued my interest. These ones kind of stood out to me as ones that I really wanted to talk about. Now, all of them are phenomenal. All of them are fantastic, and you should definitely check out every single one. These were just the few that kind of stood out to me that I was like, oh, I kind of want to talk about these for a video. So without further ado, let's move into our first one. Or should I say, let's rush into our first one? I'm horribly alone. Yes, you are seeing this correctly. Some psychopath on the internet decided to translate a 2D DS game into a full 3D action platforming adventure. Sonic Rush 3D, as the title implies, takes the DS version of Sonic Rush and translates it into a more 3D Sonic boost formula type game. I know a lot of people are going to hear that and they're going to be like, ugh, boost formula? Blah. But before you sit there and go, blah, this is not just any 3D boost formula Sonic game. And let me tell you why. First of all, the style of this game is amazing. It looks incredible, and it's super faithful to the original DS style. A lot of people might look at this and go, oh, it looks old, or like, oh, it looks dated. To me, this looks like a very clever interpretation of the DS graphics from the time put into 3D. I don't even know what to say about Sonic's model. To me, this is one of the perfect blends of modern and classic Sonic put together, and I think it's amazing. Sonic Rush really hit the nail on the head when it originally came out on the DS, and a lot of people really liked playing it, including myself. The fact that you can play as Sonic or Blaze, and that the style was this great mesh in between of the classic and modern games, really set this perfect tone for this game. Not to mention the characters used, the level designs, and even the music? Granted, this demo only has one of the levels from the game, but it's okay because they knocked it out of the park with just one level. The controls in this game are pretty fun to play. Obviously, like I said before, it's a standard 3D boost formula Sonic game, so you kind of already know what to expect going into it. What's really nice about this game, though, is that they allow you to not only use the boost, but they also give you the ability to spin dash. And what's great about the spin dash is that it's just as broken as it would be in Sonic Adventure, so it's incredibly overpowered and incredibly fun to use. My complaints with this are very far and few in between. The Lightspeed Dash is a little broken, not to mention that the Lightspeed Dash and the Trick Maneuver are mapped to the same button, so it kind of gets a little tricky sometimes when you're trying to perform one and end up doing the other. When you're going really quick, the turn and the drift need a tiny bit of fine-tuning. I feel like when you're going really, really fast and you try to turn, it's a little too stiff, and then when you try to drift, it's a little too sharp. So if they lessen the drift and made the standard turn a little bit sharper, I think these controls would be pretty close to perfect. Not to mention, this level actually runs pretty long. It's a pretty decently long level, and it allows you to experiment with all the different things that the Rush games introduced in the DS, and I think that it's really fun that you can see what it would be like if it was translated into 3D. Honestly, at this point, I'm just looking forward to seeing this game in its full entirety, and with Blaze in it as well. But yeah, it's only one level, so there's not much more for me to say about this. It's just a fantastic translation of the DS game, and brings a lot of potential to this type of formula. And yes, before you ask, you can still do this. Damn. Isn't it a shame that you can't just combine two games together to create one super game with the mechanics of both? Miyamoto? Hot Job 94. Not only is it the title of the next game we're looking at, but also the title of the group chat of my last threesome. This game was created by a YouTuber known as Sam On Sam Off, who became popular for their Oni Plays animated cartoons. Not only that, but they're also developing their own original story as well with their own original characters. And those characters are the ones that star in this game. This game is basically if you took Sonic Adventure and you mixed it with Super Mario 64, Simpsons Hit and Run, and Donkey Kong 64. This game features standard Sonic Adventure 1 controls, while you set out to collect red coins, lava lamps, and bowling pins, because of course you do. Right off the bat, this game has already got a lot of charm. Not only the mix of 2D and 3D elements, not only on the characters, but also in the environments, but also the gameplay just kind of feels really fun and unique, and something that we've been kind of lacking recently in the gaming industry. However, much like Sonic Adventure 1, the physics are a tad broken. But I do want to clarify that even though they are a little broken, honestly, it just makes the game that much more fun, so don't fix them. As with a lot of these games, they start you off in a tutorial world to teach you how to use a lot of the controls, and they show you the key collectibles that you'll be collecting throughout the game. You are then set into a gigantic hub world, which I was not expecting at all. Seriously, this place is fucking gigantic. There's like secret paths and little areas and whole sections of the city just everywhere. This place is insane. And this is a demo. And right off the bat, we've got living pants and mechanical monsters shooting splooge at me. Some of the most insane car mechanics I have seen in any video game, and they're fucking perfect. Not to mention the citizens of this city literally screaming at me. And although a lot of the music and sound effects, if not all of them, were borrowed from something else, I don't really care. If I had to pay for this, that'd be a bit of a different story. But even then, I feel like the sound design and the music take a backseat and didn't really matter as much as what I was looking at. I would rather them dump all their focus into the mechanics and the visual style than the audio design, at least in this specific case. One really cool thing about this game is that it features a shop with a shopkeep who I am already in love with. In this shop, you can buy new characters, which you can actually switch around in an outhouse in a Donkey Kong 64 style. The character we're currently playing as is Chuck, who is our Sonic-like. We then have Colin, who is our Agent 9/Rayman. He has a water gun. He can hover like Rayman, like literally exactly like Rayman, and I love this game with every passing minute. He's a lot slower than Chuck is, but to be honest with you, because his gameplay is centered more about running and gutting, I think that's fine. Plus, you can pick up speed cartwheeling anyway, so who gives a shit? We then have Wade, who is our, and I mean this literally, our Super Mario Galaxy stand-in. He can spin and defy gravity. Mario Galaxy. We then have Ray, who is our Wario Eggman Sonic stand-in. What? He can punch, charge, and drift. He is a force to be reckoned with. and he scares the shit out of me. I wasn't able to get the last guy, but it seems like that they would be like the Tails type, just judging by the text that was next to their cage, which is honestly a shame because I fully believe this guy would have been my favorite character. You can also ask random questions to help aid your progression in case you get lost. And the first question you can ask is who John F. Citizen is. I think it's just a JFK joke. You can also ask them to tell you a joke. And I think it's safe to say I'm never pressing this button again. The levels in this game are also very interesting and are very heavily inspired off of other things. For instance, the tutorial gives me Rail Canyon vibes from Sonic Heroes. There's Cool Hall, which is literally a Sonic Extreme level, which is a canceled Sonic game for the Sega Saturn that I'm sad never saw the light of day. Clearly they thought the same thing. And then there's this. Because that's not just completely traumatizing. There's also a run and gun level mixed with a Super Mario Sunshine sub-room minigame level named Boogie Basement and Funky Dome, which the naming conventions in this game are 10 out of 10. And then there's Bliss Gardens, which is pretty much just the beta version of Windy Valley. But oh my god, have I never felt so at peace listening to the song in this level. This game feels like if Sega and Nintendo came together to make a Let's Play channel, and then somebody came along and YouTube pooped their entire catalog of videos and turned it into a game, and it's perfect. Not only is this game a nostalgia lover's paradise, but it is also a lesson in game design where fun should take the priority instead of making the games intentionally difficult or intentionally ridiculous just for the sake of making people play your game longer. This game stands as a testament to that. If your game is fun, you can get away with anything. While there are landmarkers to show you where you're supposed to go in the overworld, I will admit there were a few times where I still got incredibly lost. The markers are even color-coded to tell you what they're supposed to be, whether they're supposed to be bigger levels, smaller levels, or if it's the shop. However, for me, I still got continuously lost, and my only message to the developer, if they happen to see this, is please, 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 for the love of God, add a map. Your game is so incredibly fun and interesting, and I really loved playing it. My God, there was so much to this demo. I couldn't get to all of it, so please, if you're watching this, go download the demo right now. It is so fun. You will not regret it. And it is the hardest I have ever laughed at a game in probably the past couple years. And the cherry on top of the cake is that to quit the game, you have to hit a button that says, Amen. I don't even have to write jokes anymore. The game is that funny. Good job, Sam on, Sam off. I will be looking forward to the full release of this game. Wow, it's Sega's Sega Saturn from the hit Sega console lineup from the 90s Sega Saturn. What could you possibly be doing here? Oh, it's dead. The next game on this list we'll be talking about is Tori Saturn, which is a Sega-inspired platformer starring this little yellow bird with this little backpack and white shoes. This is actually an on-running series of games that have been out for a while at this point, but this is the only one I've actually gotten around to playing, and I'm really glad this is the one I started with. There's incredibly cute art and models, and the visuals are very poppy, and I love it. There's super fast and fun gameplay where you can run, double jump, tuck and roll, and there's even a homing attack. This game is built around speed and fluidity, and it really comes together very well. The music and sound effects also blend in very well and feel like a natural progression of the visuals. The levels are short, but they make use of the controls very well, and I still had a really fun time. Unfortunately, there are only 2 to play right now, but it is a demo. Plus, they're going to be adding a story mode, so, I mean, what more could you ask for? Next time I see a bird going at 1,000,000 miles an hour out on the street, I will salute it, as opposed to swatting it down and killing it. This was a pretty short experience, and there's not a whole lot for me to say about it, but honestly, if it keeps going in the way that it's going, I think that this could potentially be a really great platformer. There's a lot of charm and a lot of love put into this, clearly, and the character is not only really cute, but also extremely fucking cool. I mean, check out those sunglasses, goddamn. All in all, it's a fun little game, and I think that the mechanics come together really well, and it's overall really, really fun to play. And the controls are simple enough where anybody can pick up and play it. This one's a real good one. Make sure to check it out and download it. Why don't we end this video the same way we started it, with a remake of a Sonic game. The next game we'll be looking at is Project Reignition, which aims to take Sonic and the Secret Rings and port it to PC. A remake of Sonic and the Secret Rings is a pretty good idea, seeing as the original Wii version makes me want to rip my pubes off. The obvious plus to this is that there are no more motion controls, which is fantastic, but the obvious downside is that it's still Sonic and the Secret Rings. The on-rails mechanic of this game is an odd choice that I don't really hate, but there's no sense of momentum, and you can even slow down and fall off the rails. There is a boost, but you can only really use it when this magic meter is half full, and you can also use a time stop ability, which I guess is neat, but I haven't really found a really good use for it. Picking up speed in this game feels super sluggish, and the fastest I went was when I was sliding on this wall. Why? While it is a breath of fresh air to hear Jason Griffith as Sonic again, hearing him make puns with his little flying partner makes me wanna... How do these cannon jars work? How do these cannon jars work? Please help. I can't continue without knowing. I'm stuck. Please help. Help! None of this stuff is a comment on the remake at all. It's just that Sonic and the Secret Rings is not really a great game in the first place, and remaking it didn't fix the issue. It's just kind of a boring mobile game on a gimmick console. If anything, all the remake did was just give players an opportunity to play it in a much better way, and it added a nice shine and polish to it that the original game just didn't have. If anything, this remake just makes the game a lot more bearable and a lot more accessible, but it's still Sonic and the Secret Rings. I fully and honestly believe that this creator has done everything in their power to make sure that this comes out as well as it can, and I admire them for it. Honestly, I did have some fun with this game while I was playing it, but the base mechanics of the game just aren't that fun, and I didn't have a very good time with it. While I think storybook Sonic games have a great concept behind them, they're both executed very poorly, and it's no wonder why the third game that was supposed to be about Greek mythology got canceled. To the creator of this, I salute your efforts, and I hope that you keep improving this game. If you improve it even more, I'd be happy to review it again. That's all I really have for today, so just make sure to head to that website. Again, link is in the description. Go subscribe to their YouTube channel to be notified every year when that trailer comes out with all the games, and please, please, please make sure to give them some love. This expo is not only a place for Sonic fans to come together, but also fans of indie games and for personal projects to finally get noticed. It's not just about Sonic. It's about all of these smaller creators coming together to show their work and their passions. Games that I mentioned here today was only a tiny, minute fraction of the games that they had available on their website. I am a huge advocate for indie development, and I'm a huge advocate for individual development, and I think that SAGE is a huge monument and testament to that market. There's a lot of games I wouldn't have even known existed had it not been for this expo. So please, if you have the chance, this expo happens every single year, so go and play and download those games. But anyway, that's all I gotta say for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. See you later. Am I about to shit myself on camera? This is not a joke. This is not a bit. If I shit myself on camera, this is going to be in the video. If I don't, then I might just skim past it, but I almost just shit myself on camera. That would have been really embarrassing. Our Super Mario Galaxy stand-in? He can spin and defy gravity. Mario Galaxy. This is not going to work. This is not going to work. How am I going to fucking do this? Wow, it's Sega's... I already forgot. I already forgot the line. Shit. This is going to be really tricky for me to remember this line. Sega's Sega Saturn console from the hit Sega console lineup from the 90s Sega Saturn. Okay. Wow, it's Sega's Sega Saturn from the Sega's from... Fuck. Wow, it's Sega Saturn from the hit console lineup from Sega. Shit, that's not what the line is. Damn it. It's Sega's Sega Saturn console from the hit Sega console lineup from the 90s Sega Saturn. Fuck, that's going to be hard to say. Wow, it's Sega Saturn from the hit console lineup. That's not right. Damn it. Oh, it's dead. This bit is stupid. I don't know why. There was no... God, so much setup for no payoff. God fucking damn it. Whatever. God, this is gonna be the stupidest shit ever. There's a plate in there. God, Sonic fell out, not the plate. got the one take, but uh-oh. I'm never gonna be able to do this again. How did I get it so perfectly before? How did I do that? I don't think I'm gonna be able to do it again. Yeah, no, I'm just gonna have to use the take I had before. Alright, well, that's all, folks.